let's start, shall we? Perfect. Yeah. And then Autumn's gonna leave. She's like, I'm the one who donated for this. The $65. But now $165 for this. And I'm gonna leave. Bye! There's a train. Alright, let's start. It all started about 3 years ago, on my 13th birthday. I was playing tag in the back garden with my friends, but when I tried to jump out of the way of the girl who was chasing me, I jumped so high that I flew all the way over the hedge. At first, I couldn't believe it was real. No one could either. No one else could either. Within a few minutes, they'd all convinced themselves that nothing unusual happened. Then, the next day, a strange old woman showed up at my doorstep and offered me the choice for my future. And now, here I am, 16 and on my way to Iris Academy, an actual school for magic. The school lies in a hidden valley in the Green Mountains, about 150 ways from my home in 150 ways? Yes. About 150 miles. 150 miles from my home in New Hampshire. My parents drove me out here, but we've already said our goodbyes. I asked them to drop me off at the outskirts of the school grounds, so I could walk the rest of the way on my own. I knew my dad would cry and make a fuss over me before letting me go, and I didn't want my new classmates to see me for the first time looking like that. Actually, I'm surprised Dad agreed. Oops. He's always been a little overprotective. Maybe he's finally recognizing that I'm not a little kid anymore. Train. Anyways, it means I have to carry all of my own suitcases, which contain all that I have to my name for the next 9 months. Not many clothes because I will be wearing uniforms all the time, but I have some books, pictures of my friends and family, and decorations for my new room. There it is, up ahead. The campus looks more like a very posh boarding school than a home for wizards and witches. Pretty buildings, lots of trees and wide open spaces. Summer is still lingering here. The leaves haven't yet started to turn. I walk a little faster, feeling slightly too warm in this robe and cape. Flower beds and arches stretch out all around me. So many doors and windows, and they all look the same. There's 3 residential halls for the girls and 3 for boys. I've been accepted into Horse Hall, which is for adventurous girls, whatever that means. The two other girl halls are butterflies, who are probably girly girls, and snakes. I'm not sure I would want to be a snake. I'd much rather be a horse. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure where Horse Hall is. I have a letter about freshman orientation. Where did I put it? I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. I looked down at my suitcases while I walked, trying to remember which pocket I stuck the letter into, when suddenly I bump into someone. Oops! Sorry. I didn't think I would get this flustered at the start of, but here we are. Get your melty in chat. Should I do the melty or the teeth, friends? Oh. I'm 16. This is an older man who is probably my professor.
I don't dislike you.
I've got that energy right now. He's an older man in school robes with no hall symbol on them, which probably means he's a professor. This is not a good first impression. Sorry, sir. A new student, I see. And what might your name be? He has a lovely voice, dark and rich with a refined British accent, and he doesn't seem to be too angry with me. I relax a little. My name is Apple Pie. Apple Pie, sir. I just got here, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to... My voice trails off as I notice he's no longer looking at me. Instead, he's paging through a large book which he was carrying. Miss Pie, was it? Wild seed. How unsurprising. Wild? More than likely a complete waste of my time. You have no idea how much you have been given, and you will throw it all away. He scribbles something into the book, then slams it shut. 10 demerits. Not a promising start. Pay more attention to your studies than where you do to where you are walking, Miss Pie, and you will find yourself expelled from this academy before the new year. With a snap of his wrist, he wraps his cape around him and stalks away. I haven't even started school yet, and already one of my teachers hates me. After a bit of looking around, I've found my way into the girls' dormitory and located my hall. There are 9 doors in this hall, only one of which is labeled bathroom. If each bedroom has at least 2 girls in it, I hope that's a big bathroom. My own letter informed me that I would have 2 roommates, but it didn't tell me their names or anything else about them. I haven't seen anyone else wearing a horse insignia. All I can do is find my room and wait for them to show up. Whew. There it is, room 3. I open the door and pick up my suitcases. Walking inside, I find a fairly ordinary looking bedroom. No skulls, or drippy candles, or blacklight posters on the walls, no incense or crystals anywhere. Unless they just haven't had time to unpack yet? A girl who had been sitting on one of the beds stands up. Hello? You're a horse. I didn't mean it to sound that way. Brunello. I didn't mean that the way it sounded. Hi, I'm Apple. Are you my roommate? One of them. I'm Ellen, and that's Virginia's bed, but she went out to talk to somebody. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Virginia. I mean, the state. I'm not sure where Virginia the girl is from. I tilt my head. You don't have much of a southern accent. I'm not that far south, and my family wasn't from there. What about you? New Hampshire. Should I be talking like this with This is Australian. No matter how you try and play it, it's Australian. Did you know that people from New Hampshire sound like they're from Australia? I can't do the New England accent. I'm sorry, Ari, if you're ever watching this. New Hampshire, not that far from here. Are, all those books yours? Yeah. There aren't any computers out here, so I brought my old encyclopedias. All of them. And those are textbooks for the classes I would have been taking this year at my other school if I hadn't left. You must be a really good student. Not really. I probably won't even open them, but I didn't know what I needed, and I didn't want to need something and not have it. Those books are everything I could find out about magic, the real kind, now that I know it's real. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? We're gonna be witches, just like in the movies. Oh good, you're a wild seed too. What does wild seed mean? It means your parents weren't magic, so you're like a wildflower. She holds out her hand for me to shake. Me? My family's all magical, so I always knew I'd be a witch. I'm Virginia. Free game? No. Not free. Hey, Guro-san. Konnichiwa. Welcome in. She has a pretty strong grip. Apple. Pleasure to meet ya. Is it a problem being wild? I met a really hot, beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous professor. I mean, a professor. And he was sort of rude about it. A professor? Shaggy black hair, big nose? Yeah, I sort of bumped into him. Oh no. Now you'll be on Grabby's blacklist. The professor grabs girls? No, that's his name. Professor Grabiner. Grabiner? 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 He hates me. Y'all, he hates me. He hates everyone. So it doesn't matter much. So it doesn't make much difference. Don't worry about it. Nobody cares if you're a born witch or not. Not really. And everybody's scared of Grabby. He's a monster. William warned me about him. Who's William? My bigger brother. He's a senior. Donald's a freshman, like us. They're in Wolf Hall. But enough about boys. What sports do you play? What do you like? I like softball, but I'm better at volleyball. Good strong arms. Me, I prefer soccer. What about you, Apple? I guess I'm mostly best at track. I like to run. Your legs, her arms, my fighting spirit. We're the total package. Go horses! Are there sports teams for wizards here? Not exactly. There's bounders, but that's not a real sport. But there is a gym, and we can start our own sports team if we have to. Right, Apple? I guess? Sorry, I'm rolling you over, aren't I? I'll let you unpack. Come on, Ellen, I'll introduce you to my brothers. Huh? Okay. Oh, I want to meet them too. Please don't leave me here all alone. I'm scared and lonely, and why aren't there black lights and drippy candles and posters and crystals? I want to meet them too. The only wizard I've met so far was that horrible professor. I can unpack later. You just met Virginia. Whatever. Oh my god, Virginia. I hate unpacking too. I made my mom do it. Shall we? Do you still want me to come? Why wouldn't I? Come on. Honestly, isn't just Autumn, Ardera, and I? Virginia's Ardera, Autumn is Ellen is Ardera, Virginia is Autumn, and I'm just me, MC. Actually, I'm probably Donald, let's be real. You'll understand when you meet Donald. Virginia leads us unerringly through the maze of school hallways to one of the boys' sections. Need a hand, ladies? No, I'm just looking for... Suddenly a water balloon flies out of an open door and smacks into the side of Virginia's head. Donald! Yes! Perfect shot. The two boys are exchanging high fives. This is my Donald. This is my brother, Donald, the complete dork. You are gonna be in so much trouble. What are you gonna do, urchin? Tell Mom on me? She's not here. I don't have to do anything. You'll end up in detention by the end of the week just by being you. Look at me, I'm all wet. Well, you're a new witch, right? You're a witch now, right? Magic yourself dry. Come on, Luke. Donald returns to his room, followed by the other boy, who bumps into the doorframe briefly on his way out of sight. V, is that you? Hey, V. All moved in? Are you wet? Thanks to Donald and his new best friend. Oh, poor thing. Here, let me. He holds out his hand and a gust of hot air blows through the corridor, melting away the droplets of water that clung to Virginia's hair. Virginia, aren't you, gonna introduce us? You can romance William in the other game. You know, I haven't played through the entirety of the other game. I should do that. Likewise, I feel bad asking for more money to do it. Apple has a thing for older guys? No. Keishura has a thing for older guys. Right. This is William. My good brother. Virginia grabs Ellen's hand and drags her forward. And these are my new roommates, Ellen and Apple. It's a pleasure to meet you. You too. You keep an eye on V now. She's a little scamp. She'll get you into trouble. Is that your nickname? V? No, that's just what William calls me, which is better than what Donald calls me. I use my whole name. It's not that long. You kids should probably run along now. Freshman orientation is tomorrow, and you'll have a busy week ahead of you. Not to mention initiation. Initiation? You'll find out. I suppose he's right. We should get back to our room. I still have to unpack. Tomorrow, we start learning magic! At 9 a.m. on Monday morning, all the freshmen are gathered in the gymnasium wearing capes and robes just like me, but they're not completely like me. One boy has furry ears and a long fluffy tail. One girl has glittering wings. And that girl looks like a vampire. Is that what it means to be born a witch? Being something other than human? Virginia looks normal, but she could be hiding something under her robes. No, that's just silly. The muttering and shuffling of students drops off as someone steps up to the podium. Hello, my little flower buds. Welcome to Iris Academy. I start to applaud, but freeze as I realize no one else is clapping. Then Virginia, beside me, picks up the clapping loudly. Soon the whole room is cheering. The witch holds up her hands and the room settles back into silence. My name is Professor Potsdam, and I will be one of your instructors in the ways of magic. For some of you, this is the beginning of an adventure such as you have never imagined. For others, this is only the next step in a journey you have been expecting all of your lives. At Iris Academy, we teach spelling using the pentachromatic system. Red magic is forceful, but not necessarily violent. Blue is the color of transformation and change. Green is the color of life in the world of plants and animals. White magic affects the mind and spirit, and black magic is contained within physical objects. I don't know who you're talking about, Zed. Is Potsdam a person in another something? Your palette should contain at least a few dabs of every color of magic. But a beautiful painting doesn't need every shade. It's the style that matters. Potsdam is a city you live near? Ah! You all have different strengths, different talents. Here at Iris Academy, we embrace that diversity and tailor your education to your needs. Choose your own schedule to focus your own personal talents. Don't try to become a reflection of your classmates. Follow your own star, wherever it may lead you. That is the way in which you are all alike. You each have your own future, and I know you'll make us proud. Her starry-eyed way of speaking reminds me a little bit of my school's old guidance counselor. But she certainly seems nicer than Professor Grabby. Wonder which classes she teaches. You have been divided into halls to help you make friends with classmates who share similar interests. For the girls, we have the adventurous horses, the charming snake, butterflies, and the mysterious snakes. Each group claps as their name is called. The horse is a little louder than others, but perhaps it's just because I'm sitting with more of them. For the boys, we have the daring wolves, the elegant falcons, and the eldritch toads. I don't know, Zed. I'm not sure what eldritch means, but toads sounds even worse than snakes. It's not like halls, though, because boys and girls are separated into different groups, and then each group, and then they're all different. So, like, it's not really, you can't really do a one-on-one comparison to Harry Potter. Which is quite alright, because Harry Potter, well, it was a good series. The author fucking sucks. I'm gonna use my 1F-bomb for the hour for that. I hope you'll all become good friends, not just in each hall, and not just in your year, but throughout the whole academy. Most importantly, I hope you'll get to know and trust your roommates, so that by the end of the year, you're able to work as a team for your final exams. I'm sorry, which one, Lethy? And I know you're all looking forward to your exams. Yes? The audience, predictably, groans. Oh, sure. For testing purposes, your instructors will regularly set you practical challenges in the school dungeons. The school has dungeons?! Dungeons?! Each task has many possible solutions. You will need to make creative use of the spells you have chosen to learn, so think ahead about what might be useful and how. Okay, are you all ready for magic? Open up your diaries and begin penciling in your schedule. I need to choose which classes to attend this week. Plus, there are classes for each kind of magic. plus general studying, which sounds boring, and gym classes, which I've always liked. I can also schedule free time to relax and unwind. Most of my life, my classes have been planned out for me by my school. It wasn't until last year that I even got to make any choices at all. Cantonese, French or Spanish, physics, chemistry, or biology. Still, everyone had to have the same number of classes and they all started and ended at the same time. You couldn't get out of it. If I can choose whatever schedule I want, what would happen if I never went to class at all? Would they really let me get away with that? What should I do this week? By the way, you get expelled. Hold on. Why so blue? There's a special scene if you get at least 20 blue points on the before the first exam, which is at the end of the month. I probably don't need to push it so hard. Okay. Beep. Uh-oh. This is one of his classes. Mill about all you like. It's your own time you're wasting. I have no objections to failing the lot of you at the next exam. A flurry of robes as students scramble for their seats. Here you will be learning the subtle art of blue magic. At least, some of you will. I thoroughly expect this subject to go over some of your heads. Blue is the color of change. That is, altering what is already there. Not creating, not destroying. It is commonly used in conjunction with other magical styles in order to perform alchemic transmutations and other alterations of essence. Blue magic can also be used to change the effects of an existing spell, or to cast or dispel illusions, or to change locations without movement through intervening space. As a skilled blue magician, your reality is fluid. All things can be changed, yet few minds are capable of grasping the true range of possibilities. We'll see what you're worth.
What, this guy's never heard of blue magic?
I return to my room and flop on my bed. Ellen's already here, sitting at her desk.
Hi, Apple. What did you think of class today?
Isn't it exciting? It's okay, I guess. It's not really what I expected. I thought we'd be waving wands and reading old scrolls. Sounds like it'll take a while before we can do anything big, but I guess that's why we have school. I like it better this way. Starting off with the theory behind magic, it makes it into something real. Something I can use instead of just a dream. I've spent my whole life dreaming about something like this happening to me. I wondered if that's what it takes to be a wild seed talent. wanting it so badly. What about you? No, I didn't really think about much about magic growing up. I saw it in movies and it looked fun, but it wasn't something that mattered to me. I'm not super smart or creative. I haven't liked fairies since I was like 8. I never wanted to be a goth. I was totally surprised when I found out I could be a witch. I guess my theory was wrong. I couldn't think of any other reason why something like this would happen to me. Oh, Ellen, sweetie. Well, it's random, right? Wild means we got lucky. Even if it's supposed to be random, usually some people are more likely to get picked than others. I stretch out on the bed, enjoying the feeling of having my feet free from my shoes and stare up at the ceiling. Anyway, it can't be helped it can't only happen to people who really, really want it, or we wouldn't have to make the choice. That's true, but I can't imagine what sort of person would say no. I don't know. It's not a very interesting ceiling, now that I look at it. I suppose most ceilings aren't very interesting, but I never spent much time looking up at mine at home. After school, I'd be playing games or hanging out with friends or doing homework or watching television. I didn't go to bed until I was ready to sleep. Should we decorate the ceiling? What? The ceiling? It's so boring. We could paint it like a sky with clouds, or maybe cover it with stars and make them glow, or put posters up there or something. I don't want something over my head while I'm sleeping. What if it fell down? I guess you'd wake up with a poster on your face? I guess MC really is kind of like me. I don't know. It's just an idea. If you want to cover the whole ceiling, you should probably ask Virginia what she thinks. It's her room, too. What about what you think? Well, I don't want something that will fall or make a mess. If you tried to paint the ceiling, it might trip all over everything. If you learned enough blue magic, you might be able to decorate that with illusions. That's a really good idea. Thanks. What would you want to make it look like? I don't know. Something pretty or relaxing, I guess? The sky, flowers, an ocean. Maybe you could have a whole aquarium screensaver thing up there. That sounds cute. I have no idea how to do that yet, though. There's no rush. The school year is only just beginning. Gym! There don't seem to be any teachers assigned to the gym, just a bunch of equipment that everyone can use. I see large rubber balls. I see several large rubber balls. If I can organize some people together, maybe we can play prison ball. What's that? Well, hello there. I turn to see who's speaking. Who or what is that? He's dressed like a student, but I'm sure I didn't see him at orientation. I would have noticed. You can't just ask about someone's wings the day you meet them. Just like, they're just like there being normal and you're like, what are those wings? Hello? Determined to be impolite, I hold out my hand for him to shake. He takes hold of it, then bows over it instead. My name is Damien. And you are? Apple. I don't remember seeing you at orientation. That's because I'm not a freshman. Oh, that makes sense. Don't worry. You're not expected to recognize all the upperclassmen on site yet. That's next week. Alright. I'm not sure if he's teasing me or not, but I'd rather just let it go over my head and be done with it. He sighs. I suppose it was too much fun for me to hope for.
Oh, what is?
No. It's all right. I understand. You've already heard the rumors.
What rumors?
About me. They say I'm cursed, doomed to be evil, all because of what I look like. I can't help the way I was born.
Damien, you are such a red flag!
But now, girls like you won't even talk to me. You hate me on sight.
That's not it.
Seems like no matter what I do,
I make things worse. Great. Good job, Apple. I've just never seen anyone like you before, so I didn't want to stare. I don't know anything about you. I'm new to all this.
you mean you're a wild seed? Don't worry. I won't hold it against you. That wouldn't be very fair of me, would it?
No, I guess not. Is it really a problem, being wild? My roommate says it doesn't matter, but somebody else was mean to me about it. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to mention the professor by name. I don't want to sound like I'm accusing him.
It's always the way of the world. People can be cruel to others who are different. Well, I'm an upperclassman, so if anyone gives you trouble about it, just let me know. I'll scare them off for you.
Thanks, I think.
You'd better get on with your physical training. You'll need your strength next week.
What happens next week?
You'll find out.
He winks at me and walks off to the sports equipment office. What a strange boy. His moods seem to change so quickly. Or do I only think that because he looks strange? He looks unusual, certainly, but not ugly. Not at all. Chicken Gym. Success! In the late afternoon, I'm sitting on my bed with a magazine when I hear a groan. Ugh. She drops her notebook on the floor, causing it to shed a couple loose papers. What's the matter? Oh, nothing. Just school. She falls backward onto the bed and kicks off her shoes, letting them arc in different directions. I hate school. Sitting still, taking notes, listening to lectures about things I already know, I know already, or never need to know anyway. Bleh. Well, you don't have to go to class every day.
You were taking it easy today, huh?
No, I was doing gym.
Same difference.
Anyway, it's different for you. If I goof off, my brothers will catch me. Not that I care what Donald thinks.
Oh, yeah? Then why'd you mention him?
But William is different? He's a good guy. He always looks out for me. Where are you guys from, anyway?
Massachusetts.
Salem?
No, Springfield.
But were there really witches in Salem?
Sure, there still are. But I know what you mean. A lot of magical people are really connected to their homes, but we tend to build a tower and defend it. If things go wrong at home, you fix them. Not so keen on moving. When times were bad for witches and wizards in Europe, they just hid better. They didn't go to America with the early colonies, not in big settlements anyway. And no wizards from Africa went there at all. So the only proper magical people around were the natives, and by the time of Salem, they didn't want much to do with the colonists. Then, a couple of kids came out wild seed, and there wasn't anyone to control them.
So the witches they hanged were real?
No.
It was only those kids who were witches, but they didn't really know it. When they started doing real magic, they were just as scared as the village people, so they blamed other people when the preachers told them to. And it was other people who got hanged. Hard luck on them. Anyway, we don't have school. We have schools now, so that sort of thing doesn't happen. I guess it's important to go to school, huh? Yep. I like how Virginia's like, yeah. When I arrive at the classroom, I find Professor Potsdam standing by the chalkboard. Hey y'all, hydrate! Ooh, water. Hello, little seedlings. Please take your seats. Today you're going to learn about green magic, the magic of life. This is a very important skill for any witch or wizard to have, especially when you get to be a certain age. Your body is a garden that needs to be cared for. With proper tending, it could last you for centuries. Slowly, carefully, you must encourage your subjects to grow in the direction you prefer. Be patient, and the rose vines will lose their thorns and twine around you. One of the students makes a scoffing noise. If it can heal, it can kill. What happens if you force something to grow in the wrong way quickly? Why would you want to do that? Because you don't like the life in front of you? Well, if that's your plan, I can look forward to working with you for a very long time. Life has its own flow. You can change it, but the harder you push, the more energy you'll need. To cause great change in an instant takes immense power. So, you'd better get started. I love Professor Potsdam. He's like, what if I want to be an edgy teenager? Well, you'd better get started. I arrive in my classroom feeling slightly apprehensive. Black magic? Will there be zombies? Good morning. Has everyone got a smock or apron? There are plenty at the back. Aprons? What are we gonna do with those? For those of you who are new to our magical traditions, I should reassure you that black magic has nothing to do with death or evil. There's no such thing as evil magic. There's only magic. The good and bad come from how you choose to use it. But black is the color of weight, solidity, permanence. Black magic is the magic of enchantment in physical form. All wands and things like that are created with black magic. This does mean that cursed items are enchanted with black magic as well. That might be how people got the wrong idea. A pale girl with dark hair raises her hand. Yes, Raven. Since you're enchanting matter, and bones are matter, you could use black magic to animate a skeleton, right? That's an interesting question. You could certainly enchant a skeleton to hold a spell or react in a certain way. You could set a skull to chatter its jaw when anyone came nearby, like an alarm. But to make something walk around and act on its own, you'd need to bind a spirit to it, and that calls for another kind of magic. We will get combined techniques later in the year. Now, one of the easiest ways to infuse magic into a physical substance is to mix things in liquids. Potions. And that's what we'll be starting with. Please remember to always wear a smock or apron. Potion stains can ruin your uniform. You're Raven? Yeah, too bad I don't think we see much of her. Yeah, so Raven. Hold on just a moment. My arm has hurt since yesterday, so I am trying to sit properly.
Switch.
Half my problem is I'm too short. I really think I'm gonna get like one of those like kneeling chairs. I don't know if it'll help, but at this point I want to try anything, so. Okay. When I arrive at the classroom, I find Professor Potsdam standing by the chalkboard. Good morning, Starshines. You'll need to sit down before we can start, but take your time. Relax. Get comfortable. That's very important when working with this particular style of magic. Taking her word, I yawn and stretch before I settle into my seat. To some people, white is the absence of color, a blank canvas. But in the non-magical world, white is a complete spectrum of all colors combined into one. In some ways, you could think of white magic as either of these things. White magic is the tool you'll use to access the spiritual realm. Ghosts, dreams, and creatures of other planes! Ghosts, dreams, creatures from other planes, the thoughts of those around you. With white magic, you can experience and communicate with these things that are normally hidden. There is only one thing I need to warn you about. Some people have tried to use white magic to control minds and spirits instead of asking for their aid. Don't do it. You will regret it. Now, shall we go on with the lesson? What sort of warning is that? Does she mean that it won't work, or that we'll be expelled, or arrested, or our brains will melt, or what? Maybe she'll tell us more later. After dinner, I'm walking back to my room when I notice the door is already open. Uh-oh. I peek through the gap to see who's inside. It's Ellen. Hmm? She's folding up some clothing. Probably putting her laundry away? Wait a minute. That's Virginia's dresser she's opening. Why is Ellen rummaging around in her roommate's stuff? I haven't made a sound. She doesn't know I'm here yet. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna say let's take a quick break That way I can get some more water. And I'm going to start a poll. And why don't you vote on what I should do? What is Ellen doing with Virginia's laundry? Should we ask her what she's doing or go find Virginia? Go on and vote, and I will be right back.
All right, I'm back.